Uruguay is a country with a relatively small population, 3.5 million. That is 1/60th of that of Brazil and 1/400th of that of China. And yet you have 4 World Cup titles, 2 Olympics, and then 15 Copa America titles, tying Argentina for the most Copa titles won. How did you guys do it?
Well, I think we have developed an incredibly efficient system of training our kids. And our kids are exactly the same as any other kids in the world. But the way that they are being trained in an extremely professional environment and with a very professional methodology, I think really generates something different. And we are generating superstars constantly. And if you ask me, but what is the secret of this training? It is extremely professional. Our little kids, they are 3, they're 5, they're 7, and they are competing. They have real competitions, and they have the pressure of their parents and their neighborhoods and their schools, but the competitions are real. So when they grow up and they are 15, 16, and sometimes they have to leave Uruguay and go to Europe because they pay them more, they are not afraid of any stadium. They are not afraid of the press. They are not afraid of anything, because they have been under a super pressure of being superstars since very early stage. I mean, the only secret is training, plus some Uruguayan milk, some Uruguayan beef, that I think it also
we'll
plays
get to
a
the
very
dairy
important
product,
role.
the wine and the beef later on.
Well, kids don't drink wine in Uruguay, I have to say.
But if you think about it, in China, it was proposed as an either-or proposition. When I grew up, it's either you go to academic school for real, study, go to university, or you play football for the rest of your life. It's an either-or option for them. But in Uruguay, I suppose that academic studies do not necessarily exclude a soccer career.
No, and I think it's not one thing or the other. And especially, if we are talking about human health and, living in a healthy environment, it is very important to play sports, and also to have a lot of people who play group sports that not only develop your body, but also the way that you play with others, and it generates leadership and
discipline,
and a lot of discipline, and you know how to behave in a complex little society of 11.
What do you think went wrong with Chinese men's soccer team? That is the most asked question, not just by some global observers, but by Chinese ourselves.
Well, I don't have the answer to
but what would be your
question.
advice?
Well, my advice is to really work not on the super mega show and the super leagues and spending so much money on bringing superstars. That contributes to the show, which is an important part of football. But the reality of football takes place in neighborhoods, in poor neighborhoods most of the time. I mean, our soccer players don't come from the Super League, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you talk to them, I mean, they were playing hard.
Nunez come from very poor neighborhood.
For little cities, 100,000 people cities in Uruguay. And, Cavani and Suarez, they come from the same city. So imagine 100,000 people city that generates 2 mega superstars. What's going on there? But nothing related to money. Nothing related to mega infrastructures. A lot related to love, passion, training, professional things. So it's about the right time that those kids need in order to enjoy the game, and the right training to make them feel that they can really do a career and advance. So.
But talking about the love for it, there's a very interesting South American term that goes like "juega bonito."
Juega
bonito. Play for the love of it. I think this is what's lacking for Chinese football. Being a former youth player myself, we're being too obsessed with utilities, the materialism side of football, instead of doing it for the love of it.
It has to come with love, like any other action, human action, and I think. There is something that we need to explore, how to make those kids understand that this is a passion, and of course parents have to be on the side of the kid, and they have to be on the side of the passion.
Explain to the Chinese viewers, wouldn't you, about the concept of juega bonito. What is it really?
This is how to really play in a beautiful manner and enjoy this game as an art. because there's a lot of dance in soccer. I mean, this is not a mechanical thing that you have to be strong and kill the other one and resist and time. No, I mean, what we try to find in our poor neighborhoods is people who are super creative, who knows tricks and can do things that are more related sometimes to dance than to a mechanical engineering process of trying to make a goal. So I personally think that there's a lot of art, and that's why it's so Latin America in a way, because we are a very artistic and free society that loves to generate beautiful things and have a lot of fun.